maybe even 6. And some are just new. Every year it kind of changes. Our 12th graders go out and we open it back up to students who are interested. They apply for it. They have to have a certain grade point average. They have to maintain that grade point average. So this is a really great group of kids. So for you all, part of your last activity that I talked about it earlier with them, we asked them to focus on different things in the district or in the building, facilities, academics, peer relationships, different kinds of things. Tell us the things that we got as a district and tell us the things that we can improve on. So this group, we talk about how much their voice, student voice, is important, right? We can do things at kids, we can do things for kids, or we can do things with kids. So it's important for me as a superintendent to make sure that their voices are heard. They come up with a lot of stuff of what we need to do to get better. And what I said to them today is that as this group, we can only do so much, right? There's a lot of things in here they want to talk about with their grades, with bathrooms, right? Come on. Bathrooms, just different things. I'm like, well, I'm not going to handle that here, but we'll pass that on to the high school administration. They can take a look at it. But from what they presented last time, a theme was around careers, career field trips, career clubs, different kinds of just exposures to careers. And we're like, we can do that. We can do that. So that's why you're here today. So for you all, we will restructure this too based on, we're going to have a new name, Conversations That Count. And so next time you come, it's going to be a new conversation that counts. Again, for us to hear your voice and to listen to what it is that you want to learn more about or know more about and how we can help you with that. All right, so, who's got the clicker? Revisit this, and I want to revisit it for our panelists. This is our North Star in the district. In 2022, the district went through a process. We really had no real vision, no North Star of where we wanted, what we wanted for the students of the Berea City School District. So what you see behind me is our portrait of a Titan. In our portrait of Titan, we worked with community members, we worked with staff, we worked with students to come up with what's important for our kids. This is for our students who are in kindergarten through 12th grade. This isn't you're a senior and we want this for you as a senior. This and what we talk about, our competencies, we work with our kids K through 12 on this. So these are what we believe are the skills that are necessary for our kids to have when they leave the Berea City School District. And so much of what we do revolves around these 6 competencies. A lot of what we talked about in developing the 6 competencies is really content versus skills, right? And you got a high-performing group of kids in here who grades are really important to them, right? Because grades, if you're going to college, how you do, it matters, right? We all know that. But we also know content isn't the end-all for our students to be successful. We believe that the skills that they have when they leave the district are really what's going to make them most successful. And I'm guessing the panel will kind of say some of that today. So for you, anything else you want me to say, Mr. Blatt, give us things about this? We good? For you all today, at the end, and we put, and the panel has it up there too, there's just a laminated sheet, again, with the competencies. Yeah. We're not necessarily asking you to speak.
Assuming it's going to stay there.
At the end, we're going to have you reflect on it, okay? So what our discussions that we have today, you go to the agenda. There we go. So we're going to start. We're going to go through introductions of our panel. We're going to have a large group discussion, and I gave you guys sets of questions. We shared with you potential questions the kids may ask. We've asked them to look at that list. Anything else that's important to them. After we're done with large panel discussion, we're going to break up into small groups. We're going to take our panelists and we're going to spread them out, and we're going to say to you all, you're going to have a rotation of maybe 5 minutes. We'll see what time looks like. 5-10 minutes where you can go to just Mrs. Lord up there, and you can have a conversation. You want to know more about what she does. So you'll be able to ask more kind of intimate questions with one of the panelists or with the panelists at the end. And then, when they leave, we're gonna ask you to reflect. We're gonna ask you to reflect on what they've shared with you today. How does what they've shared with you about who they are and what they do tie into what we believe are those important skills for you to have when you leave the Berea City School District? Okay? Does that make sense? Do you all have any questions? Do you all have any questions? Welcome, good morning.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we are going to start, and we're just going to ask the panelists to introduce themselves. We're going to show you their bios, so pay attention to their bios, and then we're going to start into the question period. So Emily, we're going to start with you.
Hello, good morning.
Oh, you know what? We're going to do this.
Mike.
Yeah, we are. If you pass that down, because it is the.
Hello? Hello?
It's on. We good? It's on.
Hello, good morning. My name is Emily Lord. I serve as the Director of Client Development for Independence Construction. It's a DiGeronimo Companies. It's the construction industry. Do we go a little bit more into detail about my background?
Yeah.
Okay. So I studied construction management in college. My degree is in construction. When I began my career, I served as a field engineer out in the construction field for a general contracting firm. Since then, I've moved into our business development role. So what I do for our construction company is I try to help our company win work. So I am really in the sales side, the pursuit side, and the business development side. So I try to figure out who around town is building commercial construction projects and figure out how we can position our firm to try to win that work and win as their contractor, their builder. In my role, I also manage our marketing department, so all things proposals, pursuits, website, social media, everything tangible marketing collateral that you think of, I manage that as well. So I'm really on the forefront of trying to uncover opportunity and win work for our construction company to be builders around town. A little bit about my company. It's a DiGeronimo company. It's Independence Construction. We also have an excavation and development arm. And we really are a full-service construction company. So everything from digging dirt and utilities to vertical construction to interior build-outs at offices, hospitals, things of that nature. When I began my career, I was more in the field and on the operation side, and that's kind of evolved in the last 15 years to be more on the business development, the sales side.
Emily, tell them about a project that they would be aware of that's right here within our school district, that DiGeronimo's part of.
Yep, so right now, the DiGeronimos are partnering with the Cleveland Browns at the Berea training facility. We're serving as the developer for that project, as well as the excavation subcontractor for that project, and then the construction manager for that project. So we have 3 different companies involved with the Browns, and we're working on that. We will also be working on the new stadium as a construction management firm as well. Some other cool projects that we're doing in town. We are serving as general contractor for the West Side Market expansion project downtown. We are also building the new Cleveland Police Headquarters building, amongst many other things. This year we'll do about $1.2 billion worth of construction throughout the country. I'll stop talking and pass it.
That's okay, that's tough to follow.
I was just saying, I'm glad I don't have to go after her.
I go, can I sit down there? Hi, everybody. My name's Lori Failer. I am the Community Outreach Coordinator at Southwest. I'm a registered nurse, and she already said you guys are smart, so don't do any math. But I have been a nurse for well over 40 years. And part of why I wanted to be here with you guys today is to just talk about the role of nursing, because everybody always thinks about the bedside nurse and the nurse who's passing medications, taking vital signs, assessing patients, and that's all well and true, but nursing can encompass so many different things. If you look at my bio, I've been in just about every bedside you can be at, from med-surg to hospice to being in the surgery suite to being in intensive care. The role I have now is probably the best suited for me. I provide all the health and wellness education for the community members in our hospital, and my postgraduate certifications in gerontology, so that's mostly who I'm working with now. But nursing is really, if you think about the bedside nurse or just any nurse, assessment skills. You need to be talking with your patient, knowing what's going on. You need a really strong background in, obviously, science, anatomy, physiology, how to take care of people, what you're seeing symptom-wise, because the nurse is often the first person who is seeing any of these changes, whether somebody's out in the community or in the hospital. So we have a lot of technical skills. We do a lot of collaboration with other health professionals. And you make a difference every single day. I think nursing is probably one of the most rewarding careers out there just because of the relationships that you make with people. Nurses are the most trusted professional according to all sorts of research out there. So it's just a wonderful job, countless opportunities, countless ways to make a difference.
Thank you, Lori. All right. Good morning, guys. My name is Dave Herwarden. I'm the managing partner and owner of West Point Wealth Management. My office is right in downtown Berea, so just right down Front Street. We do have an office over on the east side in Willoughby as well. What we do at West Point Wealth and what I do as the managing partner is really more dual roles now. I started with the firm about 11 years ago just as a financial advisor. I worked in the benefits industry before that. Came to the firm as a financial advisor, started growing my book. The unique thing about my industry is that the clients that I bring on, it really is my book of business. So now I've bought in and I own the firm, so I won't be leaving West Point. But the thing I like about my industry is that, again, the relationships I'm forming with my clients and the businesses that I work with, those are with me whether the company decides to leave me or not. Now, again, I own the firm, so West Point will not be leaving me, but it's an industry where, again, people can change jobs but still maintain those relationships. I have advisors that work for me now that have been in the industry 40 years, right? Longer than I've been out of school. But they've had these relationships with these clients, and while they've changed company, they still get to work with those people. So the cool thing about, in my opinion, what I do in working with families and individuals is just helping them to put together plans, and you get to watch them go through the different stages of life. You know, I have clients that, again, when they got married 5 years ago, they didn't have kids, right? And now they have kids and we're planning for college. I have clients that came to me, 10, 12 years ago that, we did a retirement plan and now they're actually retiring and, get to go to the retirement party and things like that. So what I like about my industry is it's highly, highly personal. There's a lot of numbers involved. Don't worry, you don't have to be really good at math to be in my industry, right? All the spreadsheets and things like that we do, it's all run by computers and programming, so I don't want you to think you have to be a math expert to be successful in this industry. Really what my industry needs is you need to have people skills. You need to be able to sit down and talk to somebody, look them in the eye, have a solid conversation with them and establish that trust. As I look over the Titan goals, right? Adaptability, communicator, critical thinker, empathetic, all of those really apply to my industry because you need to be able to sit down across from an individual who, just this week, I talked to someone whose spouse just passed away. So again, when we set up life insurance for that husband and wife, we did not hope to ever have to use that life insurance, right? But now that there's been a death in the family, that life insurance is highly, highly important because it's going to keep him in the house. It's going to keep the kids going to the schools that they're going to. So while, again, a lot of what we do is tied to the stock market, if any of you guys like watching the stock market, right, again, that may be something that you'd want to get into in this industry. I went to school for finance at Cleveland State, so I have my degrees from Cleveland State. There's a lot of numbers that we do, but again, you don't have to really be good at math. What it comes down is you have to care about helping people. You have to really want to do the right thing for that person. Because when you sit across from them, they're kind of bearing everything to you, right? You're digging into their finances, where they're spending money, where they're saving money, and helping them make sure they're making the right decisions to set themselves and their family up for success moving forward. So again, if you like working with people and you like talking to people, this may be something that would be worthwhile looking into for you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Danielle Monaco. My bio isn't as long and great as everyone else's, but my situation here is a little more real life. When I went to college, my whole family was in nursing. So I thought, oh, that's my path. I have to be a nurse. I don't really have a choice. Like, it was kind of shoved at me since I was a young kid. I played nurse. I wanted to be a doctor. I just knew I wanted to go into the medical field. And when I started my college journey, it wasn't for me. I had the academics, I had the motivation, I wanted to help people, but there was something missing. It just wasn't for me because I didn't choose it myself. So kind of what you are all interested in doing, digging into different career choices and looking around, that's what I did. I took a year off of college. My family was mortified by that. I had to really explore what I wanted to do. So in the meantime, I was a personal trainer, still helping people. And one of my clients was an educator, and I asked her if I could come stalk her life and watch her teach. And it was like I was immediately drawn to it. I changed my major probably a few months later, went in with an advisor and started my career path. And it honestly is such a field where there's a lot of negativity drawn to it. You know, a lot of people will be like, oh, education, there's so much expectations. The pay, there's just a lot of negativity drawn to it, and it is honestly the most rewarding career, I personally think, not just because I do it. Even my friends who have, jobs like these ones up here, very professional, they are always like, your job is just amazing. The impact you make on these children, I'm elementary, so I'm second grade, but those skills they learn, our Portrait of a Titan, I'm already having my students learn all of those and goal set and prepare them for being in the position you are all in right now. But it's the most rewarding job. The relationships you build with not only the children, but the families, there's just nothing like it. So if you are someone who's very empathetic and wants to make a difference and truly loves people and kids, it is the greatest career choice out there.
Well, hello, everyone. My name's Jason DeMarco. I'll start with that. I graduated Midpark High School in 1997 with Mr. Blatnica. He was smarter than me then. He's still smarter than me now. So we'll throw that out there. I'm super excited to be here with all of you in this panel. And I am, I guess, what I would call a serial entrepreneur. I started after high school. I moved to Los Angeles. I was there for 4 years in the entertainment business. We won't get into all those details right now, but they're fun if you want to have a side conversation. After that, I got into sales, and then I was in manufacturing, and then I decided to buy a company called CHT, and CHT does medical gas systems for hospitals. We work with hospitals doing medical gas systems and small rehab projects in 34 states. That was my most recent position. And now between a genetics company that I own and a startup business of my son who went here that we're developing AI apps for small businesses, currently doing that and moving on to different things. I would say that for anybody that wants to be an entrepreneur and go start your own thing, don't. But if you do it, just be sure that you're excited enough to deal with changes. And I can tell you the one thing that has really shaped over my career from when I graduated till now is that I have this huge network of people. I currently serve on the board for Southwest General Hospital. I'm on their finance committee. I was the chairman for YPO, Young Presidents Organization. I'm still a member of that. And I'm on the finance committee and board for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Cleveland. And those things have really helped me branch out to meet a lot of people. And I can tell you that through life, the number one thing that has helped me out as an entrepreneur is always treat people right. There's people, even back to, I see Mr. Blatnica back there, right? Like we had a great relationship in high school, and being able to reconnect years later is just an awesome thing. And throughout my career has been woven this relational development and this being nice to people and doing the right things that has always came back and has done some amazing things in my life and brought me to some amazing places. So be good. Be good to people is the big thing.
Thank you. Hi guys, my name is Erin Steidel. I am currently a realtor with Keller Williams. But what's interesting and why I love the opportunity to speak with you guys today is because my career also didn't take a typical path. So when I was your age, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, and I went to Lorain County Community College, took a year off, and then started working at the Cleveland Clinic in an administrative role, and decided at 30 to go back to school. So I went to Ursuline as an adult learner. I worked during the day, and then I went to school at night and earned my degree. And then 5 years later, I earned my MBA while I was still working at the clinic, and then I decided to open a franchise of a dog bakery in Ohio City. And I did that for a year, and then COVID hit. So I closed the business after struggling for a year and went back to the Cleveland Clinic. And then 2 years ago, I became a real estate agent. So I think that all the things that I've learned from the past jobs, you have to have, time management. You have to be great with people. And, real estate has been a great choice for me, but it's not easy. It is one of the least trusted careers. So when you're meeting with people, you really have to show your value of why they should work with you. And there's a lot of things to figure out. So I would say if you are interested in real estate, I have a lot of information that I've learned even just in the past 2 years. You have to figure out healthcare. You have to figure out, I would start out on a team, but you can be a solo agent. You can own your own team. You can become a broker one day. You can find a niche. You can work with first-time home buyers, seniors, luxury listings. I just think that real estate's great. You can do whatever you want with it, and you can get out of it what you put into it. Not all agents are created equal. Some don't call you back. Some are great and on top of it, and you can work with them again. But I think real estate's exciting, and if you like to constantly learn or you like goal setting, which is something that I love, the market's always changing. When I entered, it was a seller's market. Now the market is trending more neutral, and eventually we'll probably be back in a buyer's market. But I lived on the east side. I recently moved to the west side and switched brokerages, so I'm kind of restarting my business. But yeah, as the other panelists have said, your connections and networking are great. I love becoming a part of the community as well. Like where you live, kind of be the mayor of your town. You get to have, so you need a plumber, you need an electrician, you need whatever. I can help people, I can be that resource for people. So I can't wait for the breakout session to discuss more. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Officer Alex Williams. Currently, I'm an SRO over across the street at Snow School. On top of that, I'm a member of our crisis intervention team, and I manage the Berea Police Drone Unit. So that's just that laundry list right there is part of the reason I love law enforcement and my career in general is there are so many different angles and facets of it that you can do a little bit of anything that you can think of. There usually is a good application for it. My personal background, I grew up in Medina County. I graduated from Cloverleaf High School, so a little out in the sticks compared to here. So bear with me. After that, my life kind of took a lot of weird turns, which ultimately is why I think I'm so successful here now. I definitely wouldn't say I had a traditional life after that in adulthood. Immediately after high school, I moved to West Africa. I spent a year there with a couple different charity organizations, which was an incredible experience. Came back stateside, tried college. It wasn't for me. I found out I was a psych major for a while, part of just my fascination with people. And then I started working with the special needs community. I was a caretaker and a tutor for kids with autism. And that sort of then launched me into trying to find an actual career where, I could grow and things like that. And with working with crisis in the special needs community, I was introduced to a lot of law enforcement officers who would have to respond for some of my kids. And that inspired me to come to do what I am doing today. And now I get to be the person that shows up on the worst day of somebody's life. And it's just incredibly rewarding. And I think the biggest impact that my very weird life has had is that my job is just people at their core. Rarely do I deal with anybody at their best time. And a huge part of having sort of taking opportunities to see life through different perspectives really helps me connect with people. Because I know we've talked a little bit about trust in professions. I don't have the most trusted profession for a lot of various reasons, and regardless of those, it still doesn't change the fact that I still have to show up. And some people like me right off the bat, some people don't, and some people I've had to convince very tirelessly that I am there to help. And so the human connection is just so incredibly important, and being willing to have empathy and take a walk in other people's shoes so we can come to a safe and successful outcome on somebody's worst day. And so my biggest advice always is just to go out and experience life, because every moment you experience that's a little out of your comfort zone, a little out of your norm, can have a huge impact on your ability to connect with people that you might not ever think you'd ever run into. And so, sorry, I'm better at the side of the road than public speaking. I apologize. Gonna say a lot of ums, uhs, and whatnot, but that's my shtick. That's my quick elevator pitch to you guys for my career. It is truly amazing the moments that I've had to have with people that are so intimate and powerful, and that I get to be a part of every day, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Hello everyone, good morning. I am Stina Alea. I have a little bit of an unorthodox career. I am a full-time artist. I specialize in high-end large-scale oil paintings and murals. The start to my career was also unorthodox because I never touched art until my junior year of high school. And I also didn't know how to paint until 10 years ago. That's a long story though, so I'll go into more of what I do as an artist. I am probably one of the most sought after artists in Northeast Ohio, or Ohio in general, but athletics led me to my art career right now. I work for myself, and you can find my work in the Cleveland Guardians Stadium at Progressive Fieldhouse. I've done work with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I just did a private commission for Evan Mobley, and I do a lot of community engagement through my art. So where it's hard for people to communicate, or they're going through something, a lot of times I like to use art to help advocate for very difficult situations, mental health, and everything like that. My start to my career started with mental health. I was devastated by an injury that I had my junior year of high school, which took me out of track and field. And because I was spiraling from that, thinking that I ruined my life at 16, I was just at a low. And I was sat in the art room because of my injury, and that was my introduction to art. So a lot of people see my work and they think that I've been painting from 3, whenever I could hold a paintbrush, but that's just not the case for me, and I'm entirely self-taught. Some of my work you can see over here where I've done some collaborations with Disney's Marvel. I've worked with Excedrin, just very large companies. I just finished up one with Prime Video this year. But the most rewarding work that I do is for the community. I like to go into the community and bring art to our communities because sometimes it's not as accessible. And you could probably drive past a building in Cleveland and see one of my murals on the side of a building. So that's what I do. I'm collected nationally and internationally, and hopefully I just keep growing from there. But again, we can have these conversations in the private group, but I really did start my career in a very weird way. So I would love to be a chance to kind of dive deeper into that with you all.
Wow. Is anybody impressed yet? All right. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We are going to give the students an opportunity to ask questions. So here's what I want you guys to do. If you, and the panel, don't feel compelled to answer every question, so that way the kids can get through some questions. But if you all have specific questions, and then even if you have a specific question for someone, you can ask that question, and the whole panel, that person can respond, or we can also have other people in the panel who want to chime in on that, okay? All right, who wants to start? Oh, come on now. You have no questions? Who's going to be the first person to ask a question? Thank you. Here, go ahead next. And who's it? Is there anyone in particular? If it's not, just open the panel. We'll see who wants to talk about it.
Well, the entire panel can speak and answer the question, obviously, but for me personally, I'm most interested in Danielle Monaco's answer because I'm interested in education. But how do you maintain a healthy work-life balance, especially with constant technology, you know, always checking your email and trying to be available to continue your career and stuff?
Look at them all shaking their head. Danielle, you want to start? Thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely can be a challenge at times. My biggest takeaway is that I have an amazing team. So it really depends where you work. So I work in Berea City Schools. Mrs. Wheeler did not pay me to say this. I truly love our district. Like, the staff I have at BPE is amazing. My second grade team, they're not going to be with me for long. They're all close to retirement, so I am taking everything I can from them. But really, collaborating is super important in this career. There's some teachers who kind of like to do their own thing, and honestly, it makes your job so much easier if you can work with others and take the time to learn, you know, who's good at this and who's good at that, and just piece everything together. So I would say collaboration is really big in building those relationships with your staff, because there's always going to be someone who can help you. You know, if I was struggling with coming up with a lesson for something and I just bring it to my team, they're going to flood me with ideas and I can walk away and do an amazing job. Making time for yourself is still very important. I'm super into like working out, so I make sure I go at least 4 days a week. I force myself, you know, even if I know, oh, I have to grade this huge stack of papers, taking an hour to go to the gym for yourself is not gonna, you know, stunt grading those papers. You're gonna get it done. So really just making sure you're still putting yourself first. There's always more you can do. There's always so much more growth in this field, but especially in early education, like, those kids just love you so much, and even on your worst day, like, they still think you're amazing. So
I will make a quick comment. There's no such thing as a work-life balance anymore. There's just work and life, and you have to figure out how to get through it.
Yeah.
So anybody else want to answer that real quick?
So as an artist, because I do this all by myself and I haven't had a team, I'm completely self-paid, and there's 4 children in my house. One thing that I've learned is that when you think of your career and your life as far as balance goes, it kind of frustrates you when you think you're not giving the same percentage to everything. So I stopped looking at it as work-life balance and more finding harmony in the pieces of my life that need to work together. Because you can't always give 25, 25, 25, 20. It's just not, that's not logical. And so when you think of balance in that way, you're upset because that day you gave 10% to this and 30% to that, whereas that's normal, right? So if you just find the harmony in the pieces of your life that work together, 1, you won't be stressed out. And 2, you'll find more joy in the things that you're doing, every aspect of what you're doing, instead of thinking, oh, I have to do this before I can actually get to my real work. You'll enjoy the process more of all aspects of your life.
Anybody else? Go ahead, Dave. Here, I'll swap you.
As far as work-life balance goes, when you own your own business, especially, it can be extremely difficult to develop that balance. Again, when you own the business and it's your baby and your success is again, you feel so much tied upon that. It really is important just to develop boundaries and just be clear with yourself what you will and will not be willing to do. Early on in my career, I did not do a great job with work-life balance, and if you talk to my wife, I probably, in her mind, still don't do a great job with work-life balance. But when you believe in what you do and you love what you do, even if you don't own the business, like, you know, if you're a teacher and you're very passionate about it, I know it sounds cliche, like if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. I love what I do. I work a lot, though, and it feels like work, but it's a lot easier to develop that balance when you know what you're working for, right? So There's times that, yes, I'll be working in the evening. I'll have a 5 o'clock appointment with a client in the office and I have a board meeting to go to after that. But then that next day, I have the ability to maybe not work 13 hours, right? And take a little bit more time and go play golf in the afternoon and do things like that. So the balance is really just, again, the biggest thing that I've learned over doing this is just setting some priorities. Sundays are a hard no for me now. Back in the day when I was getting started, if someone wanted to meet with me on a Sunday evening, all right, let's do it. We'll do a Sunday evening appointment. Sunday's church and family day for me now, right? So it's about establishing those boundaries. But again, in my industry, if I have a client whose spouse just passed away and they're calling me at 9 o'clock at night, I need to take that call, right? So there's a balance that can be developed, but again, especially in my industry, it's about being available for people. But you set those clear boundaries, and again, your spouse, your family understands that, right? They understand if I got to take a call in the evening, I'm not just chatting with Jason or a buddy of mine or something, right? I'm taking a call because there's a reason why I'm helping that family. There's something I need to address at that time. So work-life balance, really, again, if you love what you do, it's easier to develop a balance. But again, it's just be true to yourself, set those boundaries, set those goals, what you will and will not negotiate on.
Okay, let's get another question. I'm going back to Ryan back here. Hold on, you're next.
So if you could go back to like an earlier point in your life, like high school or something, what would you do differently?
We're making you dig back to your high school careers here. What would you have done differently? Are you going to ask some folks more on like how to get them to career or just in general?
Yeah, like to the career you are now.
Oh, I was going to answer that question when you first answered it. What I would have done different, and this may not be the most popular answer, enjoy being in high school too, because I was like probably a lot of you are, worried about every single point on every single thing. And sometimes looking back, you just also have to make relationships with the people that are with you now. Everything you're doing is super important, but so are your friends, so is your family, and just relax.
I'll go really quick. My advice would be definitely just follow your own heart. Don't listen to like family members or friends, or if it's something you feel you would be passionate about, definitely explore it, but try to get into the field. Like try to observe, try to reach out, see if there's things you can do to be involved with that career choice. Also too, my biggest advice would be when you're looking at colleges, I went to Bowling Green. I was front row at every football game, ready to, I had straight A's. I was ready to have a good time. Like, take your time. If you can go to Tri-C and get classes done, I'm sure all of your parents have told you this, like, oh, why don't you try to go to Tri-C first? And you're like, never, I'm not doing that, because that's how I was. But truly, if you are unsure what you want to do, I definitely recommend going to like a community college first until you are dead set on your career. That way you're not kind of jumping all around and feeling lost and losing that motivation once you get to college, because that's kind of what happened to me. So I came home, I went to community college, and then I went to Notre Dame for education. So take your time. There's a lot of pressure. Oh, what college are you going to? It's a lot of pressure, but just take a deep breath, and if you are not sure what you want to do, that is okay. So just take your time. That's my advice.
I think if I could do anything differently, I would definitely have shadowed more or tried to take an internship. My high school didn't require that, and I know other kids' schools did. It's funny, the career I'm in now is I'm licensed. I don't even need the degrees that I got, which, you can never take, no one can take your education away, but I had a lot of loans after I got those degrees, and real estate license costs about $1,300 to go to Hondros. And if college isn't the path for you and you want to do a trade or you want to do, something different, that's okay too. My husband's in sheet metal. He's in the local 33 union, so he did a 5-year apprenticeship and now is the superintendent where he works. So I don't think that if college isn't for you, that's okay too. Because I struggled with it. That's why it took me so long to finish. But it doesn't have, you don't have to take out a bunch of loans. You can still have a career that, you can do something else like that.
So Erin, I think it's important you said that, because before you guys came, I talked to the group about that, and we talk about our responsibility as an educational institution is to prepare kids, not for college, right? It's our job to prepare our kids for career, and whether that career is college, right? Because college can lead to a career. Whether it's enlisting, whether it is going right out of high school into employment, but what is it that you want to do? And then, or if they become entrepreneurs. And we tell them, you know, there are a lot of people who focus on, we have to prepare kids for college. That's not true. And so our job is to give them opportunities to actually prepare them for some kind of a career that can provide them with a livable wage so that they can be successul in life. So I'm glad you shared that. Thank you.
I'd like to add to a little
Here,
bit.
Emma, I'm going to send this your way. There you go, girl.
I'd like to add a little too about the conversation with going into the trades. If you plan to stay in Northeast Ohio, Cleveland is a union town for a little bit. It's not New York or Chicago by any means, but there are really great trade unions here in Northeast Ohio. And going into the trades, you can be a very lucrative career, and you don't have to go to college and leave 4 years later with student loans and debt. You can find really successful pathways in the unions and going into the trades. You can do that right out of college. You can get an apprenticeship and start making money right away. And there's a huge need for the trades here as well. They are shipping in, like all of the data centers that are being built near Columbus, they're shipping in electricians from Indiana, like Illinois. There's literally a huge need for trade people, and you can make a really lucrative career. If anybody is interested in that, there's a lot of programs around town. There's ACE mentorship, which talks to high school students about architecture, construction, engineering. There's Cleveland Builds, which is helping people fill out their forms and get into the union trade. So if anyone is interested, I'd be more than happy to share some information with that. But there is a path to a successful career, a needed career with a ton of job opportunity in the trades.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, next question. I saw somebody. Oh, I told you I'd get you next. Thank you. All right.
I have a pretty broad question. How do you do with not necessarily failure, but redirection, whether it's an opportunity that passed you by, a position you didn't make, or...
Say it louder. Can you guys hear?
Good.
Say it loud.
Yeah. Do you want me to say it again? Okay.
They can't hear you on the mic. We're just microphoning for the video.
Oh,
They
okay.
can't hear you.
Okay. So how do you do with not necessarily failure, but redirection, whether it's an opportunity that passed you by, a position you didn't make, or just a project that didn't meet quota? How do you move past and keep chugging along?
I was going to say, Alex, this would be interesting for you.
She knows how much I failed before.
No. I mean, when you talk about your role with dealing with crisis, right? Like not everything works out the right way, right?
True.
I'm not talking about you. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, professionally, that I'm dealing with crisis, it's other people's, but I've had plenty of my own. I've collected stamps and postcards from hitting rock bottom. I've restarted a lot of times before I figured out what career I was going to be. Like I said, when I said college wasn't for me, it was mostly I was just immature and made really poor decisions that we can get in at a different time where I won't get yelled at. The biggest takeaway, and also kind of touch back to the last question about things I do differently, is just understand that it'll be okay. Failure is inevitable. Restarting and redirecting your direction in life is inevitable. It's going to happen, and if you can accept that, it can make that a lot easier. And I'm not going to put pressure on you because it took me a long time to learn how to accept that and learn how to move forward. Because even in my career now, and I'm an established adult and everything, and one of the I'll go back to my career in law enforcement. There's a lot of different specialty things that we can get into. We have the detective bureau, we have the SWAT team, different task force and things like that. I put in for the detective bureau 3 times and I haven't gotten it yet. I share my job at Berea with a lot of incredibly qualified and talented officers, So the competition's pretty thick, and that's something I want to do eventually, and I have to keep trying for it. I tried out for the SWAT team before, and I didn't get it the first time. I'm going through that process again, so wish me luck. But this time as a negotiator. And there's no guarantee that I'm going to get that either. But opportunities do come up. Like I said, I'm an SRO over at Snow School. That was something I kind of fell backwards into. It was just a door that randomly opened, and I took advantage of the opportunity to see a different aspect of my job and career, and I think I'm much better for it. So to answer your question, just be patient and accept that failure is a fact of life and not indicative of who you are as a person. So don't blame yourself for failing, because that's just part of learning and growing up. And the only thing you have to worry about is just getting back up and trying again. Because eventually a door will open, no matter how many seem closed. Because trust me, I have run into a lot of those. But just got to keep going, be motivated to improve yourself. So the next time you have a chance to try to open a door, you're more prepared for it.
I feel like I should answer this because my entire career path was a redirection, completely not expected from my life. So I think in my introduction, I told you guys I was an athlete, and I ran track and field. I went to Elyria High School, and my path for my life, like what my parents kind of had written out for me, and my sister's older than me, and I'll tell you about her in a second. It was track and field, so it was, go to get a full scholarship, go to college, run track. That was our life. My sister's a 3-time gold medalist Olympian. So coming up behind her, you can understand that was my life's path. But my junior year of high school, as I was at a track meet and I was going for the record, the long jump record. I broke my femur and the record in the same long jump. I snapped my femur in half and I had to have emergency surgery that day. From that point forward, I thought oh crap, I just ruined everything that we had planned my entire life. I started running at 6 years old. So 10 years of my life was this is the path. So I'm talking national championships. I'm a 3-time state champion. I still hold the indoor state record for the long jump. So if you understand, that's what I mean when I say my entire career path was a redirection. Because of that leg break, and I said I had to get sat in the art room, it was because my leg was 3 times the size of a regular leg because of the surgery, and so I had to sit there. And I sat there full of depression, just thinking that I ruined my life. That was my introduction to art. I could not draw, I could not paint outside creative whatsoever. Because of that experience in my life and where I am now as an artist, I work key for myself. I don't have bosses that I have used my art to really change people's lives. And I've seen the emotional reactions to the work that I made and connections that I made down the year. Because of this story, I looked at redirection as putting me on the perimeter. Because I'm more influential now as an artist than I kind of would have been as an actor. I would have just fallen under the wayside in a sea of effort or behind my sister. And now I found a path that's specifically for me that I designed and created and scrapped and worked with my home. It wasn't easy, it was constant in direction. Constant. And there's still real gigs and stuff that I am past them. At the end of the day, I look at the things that I do and the influence that I kind of have and the footprint that you make. I call it a trail of inspiration. That's bigger than any rejection, right? Because the next thing is gonna, and that's something that I learned too, is I'm not waiting for the opportunity. You do small steps, small progress leads to big results. And so even through rejection, even through redirection, just getting small progress that feel right to you, it'll lead you to the door. That's all. Okay, I want to do 2. So number 1, we're talking about someone who had no pain, so those are literally could no one believe me, but I don't have creativity, and they said it over, and I
like, where was that talent headed days ago? And absolutely amazed when you think about that thing. Here's one thing I want to say too, and I think you all would agree with this. As an educator, and I've had kids say this to me many, many times, like the stress of those of you who are seniors will ask, right? What are you going to do after high school? And the fact that we feel like society puts pressure on you as kids at 17 years of age or 18 years of age to make a decision on something that could potentially impact the rest of your life, right? And I think what you all said, like sometimes career paths change, right? I mean, there may be, I think of my own kids, right? There are certain things in your life that for certain people, here's what I've chosen and here's my career path. And
deviate from it. But I look at almost everyone up here, that many of them, even if it's like I think of Lori and even being a nurse, she's not on a nursing floor necessarily anymore. So what she's done is even changed. There's so much pressure on you right now as young adults to make a decision when you're 17 or 18 years of age that you think that you're going to have to commit to for the rest of your life. And if you're hearing what they're saying up here, sometimes those career paths change. And I think, Lori, you were saying, like, don't put so much pressure on yourself sometimes, because it's okay not to know exactly where it is you want to go or who you want to be or what you want to do when you're 17 or you're 18 years of age. Okay? All right. Another question. I'm going to go right here.
I have one for Alex. So, what are some ways like students could prepare for the career starting like around our age?
So what she asked is, what are ways that you as students, if you were going to go the route of a police officer, that you could start to do now to prepare for that career?
Yeah. So, I mean, even just to start the career is, attending a police academy run through APATA, which is, the state organization that manages, our training. But you can't even do that until you're 20 at the very earliest, and you can't work until you're 21. So you kind of got a couple of years free between now and when you can even start. And my best advice is just go experience life, especially in this career. It is such it's so much about connections, and the mark of a lot of successful police officers that I know and that I try to model is just the ability to make connections with people. And if you have lived in, kind of one track your entire life, you're going to have trouble connecting with people in various, other tracks of life that you wouldn't necessarily interact with. So my biggest advice is go out and experience the world. Travel if you can afford to. Go find weird jobs and opportunities that you wouldn't otherwise, take. Like the examples I had no background in special needs in the special needs community, but I had a friend that did, and he said, "Hey, we just need a few hands, extra help." I said, "Sure," and that choice, introduced me to a whole other, part of society and culture that I previously hadn't been exposed to, and I still pull on that experience today. So my best advice, just go experience life, meet people that you would not normally meet, go places you wouldn't normally go, and experience life in different cultures and different people as much as you can. And all those connections are going to have a massive impact in your ability to make those connections later, and would make you an incredibly more successful law enforcement officer in the future if that's the route you end up going.
Perfect. Somebody else. I saw another hand.
So this question is for Stina, right? What does like a typical day look like for you?
That might be for any of you today.
Okay, so there's two ways that my day can go, because a lot of times I'm on location at a mural. If I'm not and I'm working in my studio, then it's a little bit different. But every day I wake up between 4 and 4:30 in the morning. And the reason I do that is I said that I have 4 kids. So I need the morning to kind of get myself together, plan out my day. I'm very focused on mindset. in mental health. My degree is in child psychology, which is crazy because I'm an artist. So, I think we all have that in common a little bit. But I really believe in mental health. I really advocate for it. So I have to start my day like that just so that I'm starting my day with intention. From there, obviously, I have to get my kids ready for school. But by 9 o'clock, I am starting my day, whether that's driving to a location, and I paint for 6 hours. Literally, I'm painting for 6 hours. It depends on if I'm doing something like this, because I do a lot of public speaking gigs. I like to connect with the youth because, again, this is an unorthodox career path, and I like to just show people that it can be done. I do a lot of, I call it art influencer, because I have a big platform. I have over 70,000 on my Insta, and all my other platforms are pretty crazy. But so art influencer is like when you have to talk to a lot of brands, and that's like the Marvel one is an example. Prime Video is another one, where I'm in my studio painting these ideas, and I get paid to paint them and post them on my social media. So that's another thing. I do a lot of brand meetings, a lot of meetings with organizations. I mean, it's a revolving door of projects. So just planning them out. But if I have deadlines on a painting, so for example, I just finished up the Evan Mobley painting that I had to do for him, and it was an insane deadline. And so I put everything on hold. Like I kind of have to. So I don't take meetings. I kind of allocate that to, if I need like my husband to answer an email, then we'll do that. But most of the time I'm painting, taking meetings, or doing speaking gigs. And then after 3:30, it's family time. So that's why I wake up early, so that I can have full work days.
So anybody else want to talk about what your typical or not so typical day might look like? Emily? There are certain jobs that just don't have typical days.
So I usually go into the office pretty much every day, although I'm doing business development, so I'm in and out of the office, which means I'm meeting with people. But my typical day is I work in construction, and the field people start at 7 a.m. So the office people, myself included, I usually get there at 7:30. So I start at 7:30. Our office is in Brecksville. So I'm typically in the office every day, but I am usually leaving the office once a day to go to a meeting. I have a lot of lunch meetings, a lot of coffee meetings. I have a lot golf. I have a lot of networking events. I am usually out in the evenings once or twice a week for networking events, trying to meet people and build relationships. I'm not someone who could sit behind a computer for 8 hours a day, so I'm really, which is why I'm more gravitated towards the sales and business development part of our business. But every day does look different. Sometimes I am getting a team prepared to do an interview to win a project. Sometimes I'm reviewing our proposals. Sometimes I'm going to lunch and introducing our company to people, going to networking events, conferences, golf. It's a very fun job, but it's a very busy job. To go back to the work-life balance, you kind of have to prioritize what really moves your business forward and what you're trying to do, and then give yourself grace and put the other things off to the side a little bit. So it is a business job. It is a role that is in the office, but I'm never once sitting in the office or sitting in front of my computer for more than an hour, typically.
Make time to call your sister?
Yeah. Mrs. Banza is my sister as well.
We didn't tell you that. But we didn't tell you. Okay, we're gonna do one more question for the large panel, and then we're gonna split them up and give you guys some opportunities to talk to them individually.
Okay, so I've noticed a trend between like all of you guys. Each of you are saying how important connections are and how important foundations are. So how would you guys say like at our age that we can start building those connections and branching out and strengthening them? And also, how do you guys deal with connections with people that you like disagree with or don't kind of gel with?
That's an interesting one, right? Especially in this day and age.
I would think for your age group, you guys where you're at now, just work on your interpersonal skills. Like when you're having a conversation, whether it's a peer or it's an adult, a teacher, someone like that, look them in the eye. You know, as I interview newer advisors fresh out of college, you'd be surprised at how honestly lacking some of the communication skills are. I'm not blaming it all on the smartphones. However, there definitely is some studies that would point that, you know, just doing nothing but texting instead of having conversations with people does negatively impact your people skills. So for you guys, just work on your interpersonal skills, right? Like Jason had said, be nice to people. Just going through life, being nice to people will get you so much further than not being nice to someone. So whether it's the person taking your order at McDonald's or Dunkin', or a supervisor that's getting on you because you did something wrong, you know, just be nice to people. But really just those interpersonal skills, the biggest thing I would tell you guys is look people in the eye when they're talking to you, because nothing drives me crazy more when I'm interviewing somebody and you ask them a question, they start answering and they're looking all over. When I'm talking to them, they're looking all over the room and stuff. So that would probably be my biggest takeaway for you guys.
Yeah, I think there are organizations that all of you right now today you could walk out of here and you could be a part of. One of those is the one that I'm on board on for Big Brothers Big Sisters. You could call them up, send them an email today, and say, hey, I want to reach out and I want to find out, like, what can I do to help you? What can I do to help you with one of your community events, or, you know, help one of the kids, one of the littles do something. And there's a lot of organizations out there that are looking for help, and it doesn't matter how old you are. When you start helping those organizations, that can tie you to a lot of different people, because for Big Brothers Big Sisters, there's 32 of us on the board, all different backgrounds just like this. So you go to volunteer in an event, you're going to get to meet all of those people that are on the board. You're going to get to meet all of these different people that are in different careers and things like that. So definitely you can, you know, start now, and you just need to look for those opportunities. Community involvement's huge. If you can get involved with the community, Southwest General, there's plenty of stuff. Lori, you probably got stuff going on that could use help.
Shadowing and volunteering.
What's that?
Shadowing and volunteering.
Yeah, well, here, talk about that, Ed. Yeah.
He's exactly right. The more things you can experience that you think you're interested in, the better. And we're right in the community. Southwest General offers all different kinds of careers. I mean, you always think healthcare, but there's other things as well. And we have tons of opportunities for shadowing, volunteering, just getting involved and seeing. And I, as a matter of fact, I brought a whole stack of cards that are about shadowing and volunteering at Southwest.
Good. All right, we're gonna shift here and kind of break them up. But one of the things I hope you guys are okay with at the end of this today, that we share all of your email addresses with the kids, and that way, if they do have questions, like if I'm interested in healthcare, and Lori could be your person that you could reach out to, okay? So we'll make sure that you get all of their email addresses and you're able to reach out to them. You're all okay with that, right? Individually, this is the time for you, if you have things that you want to learn more about, to find out how can I be involved, to volunteer, to shadow, to whatever it is. This is the time to do it. I'm going to give you one little story about me, and I'm going to let you go. Education, right? Even as education, I think Danielle will appreciate this, maybe not. Again, when I went to school, I wanted to be a kindergarten teacher. That was my lifelong dream. I wanted to be a kindergarten teacher. But part of what I had to do in school was to get out and experience different levels. So I spent my first field experience with kindergarten. Guess what I have never done? Taught kindergarten. And I think just to know that with whatever it is that you want to do, you have to get out, you have to have experiences, because you don't know what you don't know until you're actually involved with something, okay? And that's so, so important. It's so important for you guys to start this at your age right now, okay? All right, so we're going to have you guys step away, and we'll put you at tables, and then I'm going to ask you all to stand up, and then we're going to kind of let you go to a table where they are to have some different conversations, okay? If you guys will just kind of plant yourself around at tables. I'm just having Stina stay there. So she's we'll let Stina stay at the end. Her art's down there too. And we're gonna at least get you to around two different folks here before we ask you what to do next. So Just pick a table.